the most craziest wrestling week of all time has come and gone, and I just cannot make head nor tails of it. What's going on, everybody? My name is Boyce. You're locked into the best wrestling podcast with under 100 views, draped in gold. But as always, I'm not alone. I'm being joined by the Emmy-nominated co-founder of Heartpunch Media, Emily May. Emily, what's going on?
Oh my gosh, Flobo, can I tell you how much I've missed that intro? And just missed you, missed all of just everyone in the whole wrestling fandom.
Yeah, you've been doing everything else. You were doing like things all over. You're like traveling, doing fro. You were in Berlin last year. You're doing pickleball now. Like, what's crazy?
I'm doing baseball. I'm doing pickleball. I'm doing the UFL. I'm doing roller derby, along with all the wrestling stuff.
Wait,
probably missing a million other things.
Roller derby? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a roller derby girl. I just cover it.
Okay, I was like, do you get a roller derby name if you're a journalist? Do you call yourself like, I don't know, Unfollow Me or something? Like, what?
So my wrestling villain name, roller derby rock band name, because this name could be used all for many things. The May Maniac.
Oh, I like it. Yeah,
that would be like my thing, and then I call all of my fandom the Maniacs.
Oh yeah, that totally beats my idea of calling my fans a phlebotomists. But I hear what you're saying. Like, you want to make sure you have a following that can go and buy in. You know.
I mean, thank you all for buying in. The two people that support me, I appreciate it. My mom and my sister.
Oh yeah, well, you have like I'm not gonna say OnlyFans. I mean, you have like a way people can like chip in. No, you have like a fan page, right? People can chip in, like a buy me a coffee or something, right?
Yeah, I have Cameo, which you can
Cameo.
A Cameo, and I have all the Cash App, Venmo if you want to just send me some caffeine, which this is actually the clone. Like I told you, Flobo, this is Emily May the clone.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I am not paying you anything here, so please promote everything you're working on. This is how this works.
Yes. So if you want to help, so you guys, if you donate to my Cameo, request a Cameo. I am going to Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide next week.
Whoa!
I'll be in LA, so if you want a cute cameo on the beach or wherever, get those cameo requests in, and do Venmo, Cash App, all that. And here's the deal, because I love Flobo. He's one of my besties from the beginning. I will split what y'all sent and give it to Flobo.
Oh, please do that. Cameo now.
No, you guys, from now until I'm going to say now until Friday night, you can request a Cameo. I will split it with Flobo because he is one of my best partners. He has supported me.
Yeah.
As well as Jack Farmer, who decided
I'm also dirt broke, so it works out for me too.
We know. Are we all, right?
I was going to ask you about Worlds Collide, but before I do the whole housekeeping thing. So thank you so much. Check out Draped in Gold, the best podcast on the planet. If you're watching right now on YouTube or Jack's X, because he left his stuff logged in, or LinkedIn, thank you so much for hanging out there. Questions and comments, we'll make sure we ask them all the time. Now, Emily May, you are going to both Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, the two shows in Inglewood. I say across the street, but they're like half a mile apart. It's a long day.
An hour away for me.
Yeah, I mean, are you taking multiple changes? Are you going home for a break? How does that work?
I don't know. We're just gonna make it work. You know me. I always bring extra outfits. I bring a pair of shoes, different pairs of shoes. You never know. I'm still figuring out my itinerary and what's happening.
Yeah,
if you're going, we can meet up.
I am doing Money in the Bank. Because I'm taking the other half, and there's no way that she's going to do 8 hours of wrestling back to back for her first show. So we're going to do this Money in the Bank. I want to do it because we're in NXT podcast. Yeah, exactly. Look, I'm doing you a favor, babe. Only 4 hours of wrestling as opposed to 8. This is why I'm handsome.
I mean, I have to give it. That's a lot of wrestling, even for me on a day. I mean, it is going to be like a full WrestleMania day, right?
Yeah. So what's your thoughts about it so far? 2 shows in one day. I mean, we're going to talk about NXT in a bit. We're going to talk about TNA in a bit. But the idea of having 2 shows in one day, the buildup has been inconsistent, to be fair. I mean, are you excited for it? Is it kind of like, I'm just there because WWE's a good time? Are there some matches you're looking forward to?
I mean, Money in the Bank is one of my favorite premium live events of the year. I feel like they are building to it. I think there's going to be some surprises. Obviously, we had some surprises this week that are leading into next week, Worlds Collide. So I'm just intrigued because I feel like we're at this this new era where things are changing. Before, titles changed only on a premium live event. Like, they rarely changed during the week, and now things just are chaos.
Oh yeah.
So I like how everything's unexpected.
Yeah, and chaos is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So I'm I feel like Worlds Collide is the first show with a lot of NXT talent and AAA.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a test for them to see how that's all going to work. Again, like, we've seen how the TNA partnerships worked, and then now, but AAA is acquired, so it's going to be interesting.
I gotta jump in. Ricky Sinclair says, "Wait, are we actually going to acknowledge TNA finally?" I like TNA. My normal co-host does not watch the program. Hot take. All right.
Oh, so, hot take. Are we gonna mess up Jack Farmer's logins? Can we do that?
I mean, we're broadcasting to his ex. He's probably at home at a party going like, "What the heck?" No, actually, he's actually celebrating his dad's retirement. So,
happy
exactly.
Farmer retirement. What?
Yeah,
I don't know his dad's name.
I don't even know what he does. I don't know what his dad's name.
Farmer's retirement. One
time, Jack told me his dad looks like the guy in the Tapatio bottle, and that's all I can think about when I think about him. So there you go.
What does the guy on the Tapatio bottle look like?
He has a little mustache and the big eyes, and he wears the sombrero, like the Tapatio bottle, not the Tabasco or Cholula lady. The Cholula lady, she's nice, but I mean Tapatio.
Tapatio guy. I'm looking. Yeah.
Anyway, while you do that. Look at her face. Let's before we get to wrestling news.
Oh my God, he has like a mustache and like a side part.
Yeah, and Jack says that's like my dad, and I go, I have to acknowledge that. So Jack's dad is a Tapatio guy. That's the rumor we're going to spread here. Before we get into the news and notes of the week, there is something that did break out this week on the WWE side, and it's the return of WWE Evolution. Now it's going to be a two event weekend alongside Saturday night's main event, July 12th, and you and I both know it was already scheduled for July 12th, and that was AEW All In. So I'm conflicted. I mean, hey, women's pay-per-view, PLE, I'm in it, but the same weekend as AEW sounds kind of cheap. What are your thoughts about this? Evolution returning and the same weekend as All In Texas.
Oh my God. Okay, so first of all, super stoked about Evolution. I think it's a long time coming. I think it should have happened a long time ago. The last one was 2018?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Almost 10 years. Like, honestly, there's such a stacked, women's roster. It should have been done. It should be an annual thing. I know Natty came out and said in an interview that there should be like a designated women's show each week. Like, that's how talented these women are to be highlighted. So that's another cool, interesting thing.
I agree and avoid. It's like 2 minutes wrestling now, but if I had to pare something down, I would definitely swap it out for a women's show.
Yeah. I think it would be just something different and needed. But I know that there was comments about that scheduling over each other, right? So what's funny is originally I had the Evolution was the week after.
Oh. Inside info?
So hold on, let me double check my calendar.
Mm-hmm. Look at
Am I giving you inside information?
She's so busy. She's flying out everywhere.
I'm checking. Yeah, so I believe it was either because it wasn't July 4th weekend.
Yeah.
It was either July 4th weekend or the before or after. So I'm trying to remember. I deleted it from my calendar. But
okay.
I believe that it was either supposed to be the first weekend in July or the third weekend in July. There was a lot of speculation, obviously, about that date. So when it was announced that it's the same weekend, obviously, that caused a lot of conversation. So I feel a little torn because, All In is one of like their big pay-per-view of the year. It's in Dallas this year, which is 3 hours from me. Last year, I was in London for it, and it was incredible.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the thing is, I don't know the inner workings of both companies in the sense of what goes into these decisions. We could speculate, right? Obviously, we could speculate that they're trying to.
That's my whole job is speculating for an hour.
Right? Yeah. But honestly, it's giving publicity to both companies. We're talking about both and all the shows that are happening that week.
Okay, riddle me this, Emily, man. This past weekend.
Flobo.
Did you watch Double or Nothing live, or did you watch NXT Battleground live? Because they too were on similar times.
They were on similar times. So I actually was working. So I had to catch up later. So I unfortunately didn't watch it live.
Okay. But what you watch first then?
I watched Battleground first.
Okay. Oh, and tell me why.
It just was easier to get, easier access, Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't have a reason. I just was
no,
like,
I'm with you. I do think it's a big part of it. Even if you're an AEW fan, and I can tell they're getting closer to figuring that out. If you miss it live and try to track it down and pay pay-per-view rates in 2025 when eggs are $8 a dozen. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. A gallon of eggs is $8. That's 1 gallon, please. No, I'm totally with that. Ricky Sinclair had a good point.
Yeah, I was actually at Wrestle Rave in Houston. I was doing food fight wrestling.
Like legit, like an actual food fight?
Well, it's a food fight themed, and it's at a food park with food trucks. Yeah.
What is a food fight themed?
We've been doing a food park tour in Texas, and we've been going around and to all these different food parks across Texas, and just having lots of fights. Some food involved, some weapons, just normal stuff.
You know what? Texas will never beat the allegations. That's just being what's going on, Texas? We're food fighting.
Wild, Wild West, I swear. That's why I have to go back to California a little bit.
Yeah.
I have to recalibrate.
Yeehaw, man. Let's talk about Battleground, because even though Tuesday night's NXT had its own moments, which we'll get to, the one that broke the internet, the one that had the most social interaction between both shows, was the fact that Trick Willie himself is now the new TNA heavyweight champion after beating Joe Hendry, a man that had, give or take, a WrestleMania match, unbelievable momentum. People got written off Trick Williams, but the paradigm was shifted. I don't know about you, but everyone in the crowd was kind of surprised. No, they weren't kind of. They were really surprised Trick Willie walked away with the gold.
I mean, this, I think, was the shock of the night. This was the shock of the night. You could hear Vic Joseph over commentary freaking out. You could see the face of the ring announcer freaking out. Like, it's like everyone was like, what is happening? And I think there was obviously there's been lots of conversation of like, what is the mutual benefit of having this partnership, right, with TNA and NXT. And we've been wondering, like, are they going to be, we've seen titles on NXT titles on TNA, like, what is how is it going to work? And I think this shows the power of this partnership.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's great. I think Trick Williams is freaking phenomenal. And he's grown so much in his confidence, his promo skills, his in-ring skills. I am wondering what's going to happen with Joe Hendry, though, because Joe Hendry was so hot, on a streak for so long. He had that WrestleMania moment. Yeah, hold on. I can't turn on the couch. I'm gonna knock things over.
Right.
So, what's crazy is I talked to Joe Hendry the week of WrestleMania, like 3 or 4 days. I sat down with him 3-4 days before his big WrestleMania moment against Randy Orton. He was a little more nervous than usual because I know him. I've interviewed him many times. We've worked together. So he was just a little bit jittery. Now I know why, obviously, because I saw him come out. And I think I have a feeling he's gonna get signed. I feel like you wouldn't drop a title like this if you're not moving on from the company that you held the title from.
Right. Yeah. That's a speculation that's been going around, especially with all these new champions over the next couple of days, whether they're being moved up or moving and signed. But not everyone can be signed. I'm not saying Joe needs to go. I'm not saying I would hate it if he did, but it would be an interesting play to have someone soft introduced into WWE for almost a year before making the jump. Ricky Sinclair says Saturday night's main event was the afterthought of the weekend, and yeah, it kind of was. Once you got past NXT on Tuesday, ain't no one thinking about Saturday night's main event. But if you allow me, I would say that's the point, right? Like, yeah, you get to have the broadcast streaming of wrestling shows, but with less house shows out there, this is your glorified house show. It's not a bad way. I'm not saying, house shows fooey, but I remember the days where you can see a $20 show right outside of a small town. Doesn't really happen. That's what that main event's for.
Yeah, to comment on Saturday night's main event, Flobo, I think that, WWE bringing them back, it has that nostalgic factor. So it's for kind of a different generation of people that loved watching this show. So it doesn't necessarily need to be lots of title changes, lots of spectacle. It's a really, they're having the premium live events that kind of, if you could call it a premium live event, every other month or so, maybe every quarter, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of pushing to the stories, but it's not derailing the stories that they're already building. So it's kind of like an elevated show that is exciting. You can tune in, but I don't think it's been derailing what they already have planned for, like, because Money in the Bank is soon, Worlds Collide. Like, it's not gonna make everything change so quickly, but it is that nostalgic, like watching it with your family, your brother, like I don't know. That's what the vibe it brings me.
Real quick, do you think that this version of Saturday Night's Main Event needs more nostalgia or less?
I mean, I think it could always use more. I think it could use more, bring back, legends. We obviously have Lillian Garcia announcing, which is, better for her schedule, works kind of with where she's at right now. So I think it needs a little bit more, like more of the packages.
Shout out to Janet Cochran.
Yeah. You could also get my t-shirt on. There's links in my Instagram.
Let's go. Yeah.
But anyway, I think it needs more of those video packages, those vignettes, those things that really let us kind of go back in time a little bit, because we're getting the modern, really high energy wrestling at weekly, right? Multiple times a week, right? So it's okay to have that a little bit, take a little bit of break from just the chaos of wrestling every week, and we get to take a step back in time a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you. And this is the problem I always lament to Jack Farmer and our little group chat, is that with the roster on the WWE side in NXT and Evolve and LFG, and as big as it is, I want more Worlds Collide type shows where we say, okay, the storylines are there, and we're not going to ignore them, but let's mix up the blender and stuff like that. I mean, Chad Gable has a match at Worlds Collide, and it's like hot. It's a hot match because Chad Gable's in there, and so I'm with you. I think R-Truth versus John Cena would probably be an 8:30 p.m. Raw match, no problem. But the fact that it was like this big deal and he came out to Raw and Cena was like, oh wow, it seemed to be elevated despite the fact you kind of knew John Cena's going to beat his ass in the middle of the ring.
And the thing is, that's okay. Like, again, predictability or like, skewing one way is okay, because sometimes, like, with that nostalgic factor, you know what you're going to get, and it was still entertaining and it was still really fun. So it's okay. I think we all get caught up, in everything needs to be different and everything needs to be unexpected. But honestly, that so makes me anxious all the time, not knowing.
Yeah.
I'm that type of person that's like, sometimes predictable is okay. And as long as you're telling a consistent story, staying true to like those competitors and like their brand and who they are in the ring, like, that's okay.
Yeah. We have a hard rule at Draped in Gold. I don't fantasy book. I hate fantasy booking for that reason, because it just sucks the fun out of it. What they're going to do, right, is then this, and then that's going to happen, and then when it doesn't happen, it's like, oh my God, they're awful. But if it does happen, it's so predictable. It's like,
I mean, as someone that has worked in the indie scene, that has been a producer, oh snap! Hi, Chris. I got a snap.
The audio listeners are like, what the hell's going on with Emily?
As someone that's like been on the producing side, we're kind of pull the curtain here on the audio. We're pulling a curtain, opening it up a little bit. When we're producing matches and we're producing long-term storytelling, whether it's 6 months to a year, or you have 6 shows in a year, right? So some of the companies I've worked for, you have 6 shows in a year. You have all this talent. What are you going to do with them? And sometimes you plan it out and it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
And sometimes you go for the thing that you think fans are going to want, and then it doesn't work out. So I think we're too hard on the creative. Yeah. And so that fantasy booking, when we're like, well, it should have been this person or it should have been that person. Sometimes, like, it just gets a lot.
Absolutely.
Everyone needs to calm down.
Except for the fact that Rock should have been at WrestleMania. But that's not the issue of the time.
That's something we'll talk about later, Flobo.
All right. After I watch Black Adam after this, okay.
Top line, I know Travis Scott and The Rock, lots of issues, okay? I think we're all traumatized.
If Travis Scott is in next year's WWE 2K game and his rating isn't 130, I'm gonna be upset because how the hell is he so powerful? Does anyone not have an antidote to Travis Scott?
Yeah, I know. We need to like lower that. So someone, come on, take him out.
All right, let's talk about NXT this week because it really was the most eventful NXT we've seen in a long time. There were title changes, but the biggest title change happened in our main event. It was Fatal Influence, JC Jane taking on Stephanie Vaquera La Primera. It looked like everything was going to be aligned for Stephanie Vaquera to just win this title, to move on to Worlds Collide, to really be the face of the brand, not only for herself, not only for NXT, but also for Latin American superstars. But it was stomped out, as LA Knight would say. And JC Jane is now your new NXT Women's Champion. Emily May, what happened?
Oh my God, don't make me cry, Flobo. Don't make me cry. I love Stephanie as the NXT Women's Champion. This was the shock herd. I mean, we thought, Cody getting slapped was the shock. I think this is the shock.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously there's speculation she's getting called up after AAA or after Worlds Collide show. We'll see, obviously, but it's just shocking because she represents such a integral part of NXT. She has global superstardom. She has a connection to so many places around the world. And she got the rocket. So you see the rocket, it got attached to her back once she joined, and then she's been flying ever since. And she deserves it all. But I wish she was champion a little bit longer.
There's no doubt in my mind that Stephanie Vaquera was like a whirlwind for NXT Women's Division. I'm not going to say it was bad, but there was a part where the NXT Women's Division really needed a star. And Stephanie filled that role as a character to put your division around.
Her entrance was so legit for yeah.
And shout out to Booker T having everyone going, But that said, now she's without title. And yes, I think the future is going to be bright for Stephanie Vaquera. And it's no fault of JC Jane because nobody wants to be the person who beats the most popular person with the title. But it did seem to come out of nowhere because even within the confines of that group, it looked like Fallon Henley would have been more likely to be the next NXT Women's Champion, no?
Well, I think, with Fatal Influence's influence on this match, see what I did there? I think it's going to cause some animosity. I think maybe some friction, some cracks in the group. Because again, when you're champion, you have that target on your back. And with JC Jane, obviously a little surprising. We obviously were surprised she won, but she has other people right next to her that want it too.
Right.
And they might be helping her now, but maybe not always.
Speaking of the women's division, Ricky Sinclair had a good comment. Stop holding Rin Sinclair down. Well, Miles Bourne was a former #1 contender to the NXT title against Oba Femi this weekend. Came up short. Well, even though Charlie Dempsey wanted Miles Bourne to fall back in line, Miles said no. But that is a really good point. Rin Sinclair seemed to be kind of just hiding out in the shadows after being part of NQCC. Emily May, let me ask you, if that faction is towards the end, where is Ren Sinclair going to go?
I mean, that's something that, she's going to have to figure out. And, I think she has the ability to be in a title, contention and be a contender for that. But again, there's a lot of strong women and a lot of strong athletes. She's somewhat newer to the NXT brand. So she's only been there a short time in comparison to some of the other women on the roster. So it might be a good thing that if Jordan gets gets called up. Julia already got called up. Again, if Stephanie goes, we're kind of moving some of these women that are already very TV ready and big, premium live event ready, moving them up. So again, it leaves room for more women in NXT.
Yeah, I don't know. You also work in wrestling, and you also know the power of
What?
character, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you are. I'm not saying you're besties with Thunder Rosa, but you do share a mean taco sometimes. You know what I mean? I've seen the videos. You know, what will it take? I mean, we all know these women can go. I mean, Callie Davenport just got the Evolve Championship just about an hour ago. We all know the women can go, but what's next? Like, what kind of characters do you want to see represented on the NXT and Evolve brands moving forward?
I mean, I think we need to see like more women that are global, right? And that are universal. We need something outside the box. You know, we can have the glitzy, you have those archetypes of characters that you're always going to have, but you could have little bits of all of them put together, right?
Right.
Hey! So we need something that is going to change the game, and I feel like it did with Julia, with Jordan, with Stephanie. So now we need the next shift in what is that next groundbreaking group of women that can
Actually, I'm gonna,
break
I'm
down.
gonna, I'm gonna jump in here. Usually I do this with Jack Farmer, but we're gonna play a game here, Emily May.
Oh
This one's
God,
called
I'm not good at
General,
games.
yeah, General Manager Pick'em. This is where I get to ask you a question as
You're
if
gonna
you
pick
were,
me? Pick M? Pick M?
yeah, pick Emily May. That's it next week. I'm gonna change it. I
Okay.
got you pretty smart. That's branding, y'all. I want to ask you a question as if you're the general manager of a brand. This time, NXT. And so maybe the rumors are true. Stephanie Becker is gone. Jordan Grace gone. And you got to build this NXT women's division back from scratch. Who would you strap the rocket onto next if you were the GM?
You know, Flobo, this is fantasy booking. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I'm not doing it, so it's great.
Man, why are you putting the pressure on me?
Pew, 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 pew,
You're
pew.
putting the pressure on me. I don't like that. How about
Fine.
that? You're my friends.
I'm just picking one at random. You can't go wrong. Y'all
Oh,
gonna be like,
you know what? I'm
her.
gonna say one of my friends, Ren Sinclair. Put the rocket on her. She's already had title matches. Do it. Make
Yeah.
it happen.
Yeah, I can see that. And Ricky Sinclair says, Soul Ruka, the Soul
Soul Ruka's
Snatcher.
incredible too. So
Oh,
I saw
man.
Soul Ruka. Oh God, where was I?
Got Jenna Parker
Chicago
here.
somewhere. One
Miss
of the
Parker.
live events for NXT, and I was so blown away.
Yeah.
Blown away.
Wow. I
Yeah.
guess there's no Lola Vice support in the chat. I'm kidding. I'm not.
Lola
kidding.
Vice is incredible too. She's
Yeah.
scary in person.
It's,
Very
oh yeah,
scary.
because she's an MMA star, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's you know, we obviously Roxanne, we obviously know is on Raw now too. So again, it's this new era, and you know, it looks like we're not traditionally having the normal draft. It's just
Mhm.
like kind of trickling out, you know. But
It's the way it should be, really. Because I always tell this to Jack, you really can't have a draft with 2 or 3 teams. That's lame. You got to be like, look, you're being called up, you're being moved or whatever.
well,
You know?
now with TNA, with AAA, with Evolve, with LFG, like are all of with the WWE ID, technically
Come
you have
on,
lots of brands.
Emily. If you watched an episode of Raw Draft and it was like, congratulations, you're going to Triple A, you're like, oh, great. When is that on? What channel is it on? Like, let's be real.
I'm just saying, if we could like create the universe of brands,
Yeah.
it'd be interesting, right?
Chris actually agrees with I agree with what Chris is going to say. I would put the rocket around Zarya. Here's something that has
Oh,
a
Zarya,
powerful. She
yeah.
has a good character. She doesn't really have. I mean, Soul's doing her own thing. I'll probably put this right to her.
Chris also says Jada Parker. Jada Parker
Yeah.
did a great job as well this week.
Man, yes, I agree. Jada Parker is a great talent. You have to read Heater because she took a lot of losses. But Jasper Troy, wrong division, Ricky Sinclair. We did see him in action this week against the gatekeeper of NXT, Dante Chen. I kind of miss his theme song from the Level Up days. Jasper Troy was the LFG winner this season, which I still don't understand how he won, but then Booker T did not get the LFG championship with the Taker. Whatever, that's the point. But Jasper Troy looked pretty effective in his debut.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Like LFG, Evolve, like all of that is going to prepare everyone to like have these big TV moments. So again, you just got to be ready and prepared to go for it.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. Brass rings abound. I was on Women's Wrestling Talk a couple weeks ago because Cedric asked me to be it. Thanks up to Cedric. And I asked the question about if you were signed by WWE, would you rather do Evolve or LFG if you given the choice? What would you pick?
Oh, Well, I don't know if I would want to be yelled at by Bully Ray on Evolve. So that's probably a no. But I really love The Undertaker, so I'm torn there. I think they're two different formats, though.
Yeah,
But
you know
more
my
like,
story with Bully Ray. I would not.
no, I wish
Yeah,
I'm
me
like
and Bully Ray, we got heat. Yeah,
900 feet away.
I got heat with Bully Ray. But yeah, I'll pick Evolve.
Okay. I guess that's a story for later.
Yeah, not really. It's if I had an OnlyFans, I'll tell you what I would do. All right.
Wait, you have an OnlyFans with Bully Ray?
No, I'm saying if I had an OnlyFans, that's what I would tease. Hey man, get the real heat, get the real like backstories. I'll click on you like, just kidding. Here's my feet pics. You know what I'm saying?
Dang. Okay, I'm gonna have to follow up on this conversation and this story.
I'm just kidding. No, we're doing a positive show here, man.
Positive.
Positive.
Oh, but remember, I am like positive Emily. I know.
Yeah.
It and you.
Yeah.
Dude,
you know when I was in Wrestling Inc., and this is kind of funny. Like, I thought I was positive, but I have to choose my words carefully because of Wrestling Inc. I am very critical of the fictional character of Karrion Kross, not the guy who plays Karrion Kross. He's probably a great dude. I don't know, but like
the character,
the fact that he's like at work but never working, it just ticks me off. Like, you imagine going to a job and having someone hang at the water cooler all day long, right? But people get so mad, like, Flobo, you hate it. I was like, yes, I'm hating a fictional. Okay, moving on. One of the cool things about NXT was we had an North American title contest. Ricky Saints, the Revolution himself, against All Ego Ethan Page. And All Ego didn't have any smiles to his name until he became the new North American champion. Now, Ethan Page gets a ticket punch to go over to Worlds Collide, while Ricky Saints is left asking, what happened? Emily, May, what's going on here?
Oh my gosh. So as I was like watching this all happen, I was like, dang, they like Ethan Page again, he's already been now he's a multi-time champion already in NXT.
Good.
And now he's going to Worlds Collide. Now it's a fatal four-way.
Oh yeah.
We had obviously some new people show up on NXT, make a statement. But I was surprised by this title switch. I think Chris says he doesn't understand it as well. I was intrigued why they're doing this. Because both can handle championships. So I don't know if Ricky Saints is going elsewhere, or they're kind of pivoting his creative direction and where he's going, because he was super strong. So again, try this one. Puzzled me a little bit, this change.
It was kind of a lose-lose. Ethan Page was somebody who was the fastest free agent to win the NXT title in 40 days. He lost that championship last year, eventually to Oba Femi, if I believe correctly, if I recall correctly. Yes, he took so many losses, he had to do a win. But you're right, Ricky Saints was pretty much the linchpin, your hour one main event guy. You really brought some shine back to that title. And now without it, I wonder what's next. It's very easy to say, call up. But I don't know, man. I kind of wish that we actually had these things solved. If someone had a title, they lost it. I want to see people build back up in NXT and have that redemption arc too, and not just farm themselves to SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, we've talked about this like millions of years over the years, Lobo. We've talked about that redemption arc, right? Like once you lose a title, there's always that question of like, what are you gonna do next? Do you call out other champions and go for a different title? Do you go to another brand? But then you have to rebuild yourself up. You don't go. That's going to be even harder. That's going to be harder to go to like SmackDown or Raw and build yourself back up. You got to build yourself up already.
Right.
And then, at least so if Stephanie is moving up, right? Stephanie was super strong. She had lots of strong moments of retaining the championship. She obviously had this loss. It wasn't a clean loss.
Correct.
Fatal influence affected the outcome of the match.
Right.
So again, she didn't have a clean loss. It's a little dirty.
Yeah, it was unfair for sure.
Very unfair. So again, she still looks strong. Still, so it's like you gotta wonder, and again, talk about all that for $1 million hours.
Color me a mother hen there, Emily May. Maybe I'm just a bit protective. You know what I mean? Like I like Carmelo Hayes, and he's working now after being a year on the main roster. But then guys like Cameron Grimes or Blair Davenport, they got called up, and then it was pretty much quick work. And I wonder, maybe it's not necessarily a straight line to success. And I hope that if you have someone called up, there's a plan for them when they do that. So
you can only hope, Flobo.
You can only hope. To your point, the North American Championship will be defended at Worlds Collide. It's all legal Ethan Page against the young OG, Javon Evans, the Laredo Kid, and Ray Phoenix. And I'm not a betting man, because who bets a professional wrestling besides Jack Farmer? But my money will be on actually Ray Phoenix walking away with the title. Me personally.
Oh, interesting. So you think it's going to change that quickly?
Oh, absolutely. Ethan Page looks transitional AF, as the kids would say.
Whoa, Flobo, language.
I know. I'm sorry. I so apologize. Too hot for TV. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a fun one. World's Collide may be kind of odd, but I think it might be fun if you just turn your brain off, I guess.
I think it's gonna be fun. Again, it's one of the we're used to like these brands colliding, but it's the first time with AAA. So I think it's gonna, it's a test. We're gonna see how it all goes.
Hey, you're going to both shows. Is there anyone that you think that would be kind of cool on this one that you want to see at Worlds Collide? And don't give me a full match. Just a person you like to see. I don't
know. Well, my fave is Steph. Like Stephanie's gonna be there, so she's my favorite.
Yeah, she's in a tag team match with Lola Vice against Chick Tormenta and Dahlia Switch. I had to look up like how many years of experience Chick Tormenta and Dahlia's had. They're like 45 years in the ring. That is going to be a tough challenge for them at Worlds Collide, which is going to be at 11 o'clock local time. Yikes. Oh my goodness me. It's like when Stand and Deliver was in Vegas. It was like at 9:30 a.m. local time. And I was like,
I think we had to check in at like 8 a.m. or something crazy.
So. Yeah, I went to the Hall of Fame. Like a rookie.
Wrestling.
Yeah, no thanks. I look. Oh no, actually, if I go back, if WrestleMania is back in Vegas, as they say it is, I probably will go to just Stand and Deliver because they need that support and all that stuff. But yeah, doing the Hall of Fame, getting to bed at 3, that buzzer went off at 7:30, and I was like, I'm going. Go.
Do you really think Vegas is going to be the WrestleMania destination again?
It makes the most sense. I know people were saying Saudi Arabia, they're due. And to be fair, Saudi Arabia paid a lot of money to have that brand there. And Crown Jewel, I guess they figured it out. It was kind of a non-canon event. I liked an idea of a London PLE. That will be the one to really stick it in the craw of AEW. But I think the hang-up was that London does not want to pay a site fee. In their opinion, they are a big enough attraction where they don't have to pay out. WWE wants a fee. Yes, Las Vegas makes the most sense because Allegiant Stadium is fairly new. It's very set up for clubs. I mean, you were involved with the construction of that. It's all clubs. You know what I mean? Like that's all revenue potentials. There's so many venues. The Fountain Blue came late to the game, but they still found a way to give them another 10 events around. We're used to paying for $25 drinks. Like it just totally seems the best place to do it because of how everything costs so much more money.
Yeah, I mean, literally there was events every single night until about 4 a.m. almost every day of WrestleMania in Vegas. So it is really hard to not look at that revenue opportunity.
Yeah, and not even for WWE. Like even the smaller companies, because there's so many spaces and performance venues, you can like go to a warehouse and say, hey, look, Flobito Pro Wrestling has this. You want to rent my ring, whatever. It's a lot easier to make that happen. So,
but also just the restaurants, the hotels, like it already, and there was already other outside wrestling conferences, things like that, other residencies, performances happening that weekend in Vegas.
Yeah.
Obviously WrestleMania was not the only thing. And it was crazy. Boo,
yeah,
Vegas, boo.
I'm with Danny, man. Like I get the WrestleMania blues every year, and this is kind of a dark story, but we got time. So I used to be on a platform, Spotify, alongside with Jack and some of my former friends, and we got let go around WrestleMania time. And so it's always weird for me to go to these events when you used to get it for free, when you used to go meet people and all that kind of stuff. So it always feels like, hey, Flobo, whatever happened to you? But I went this year because my friend wanted to go. We got seats on the floor, and we had paid a discount of $2,000 a ticket. I'm still paying WrestleMania off. It can't come back to Vegas. I ain't going. I would rather pay $40 for NXT, sit in my corner, and be with my own failures than try to show out and be on the floor at WrestleMania where I can't see anything and people stand up. You know what
Did
I'm
you
saying?
do both nights?
Yeah. What's one going to do in one night? Either don't go at all or do both.
Oh, Flobo, I'm just asking.
Hey, no, I'm sorry. I'm just, well, Emily, man, you're crazy. No, I'm just, no. Yeah, that was the idea because we were tourists. We did the whole weekend, made a whole weekend
Yeah,
of it.
that makes sense.
But it's like thousands of dollars for a ticket being a discount thing. It throws me off because look, I'll be 40 next month. I'm okay with saying my age. I know Jack isn't. I am. I'll be 40 next month. Wrestling isn't made for me, and I get that. I like wrestling. I tune in for wrestling, but the storylines are made for people ages 11 to 24 and people who can buy stuff 18 to 34. I understand that. But one of the cool things about being a wrestling fan is that when you're young, your cool uncle or aunt takes you to a show for $6. You eat stale popcorn and old red vines or Twizzlers, depending on where you came from. This doesn't exist anymore. Like, you really have to save up to go to a Money in the Bank, to a Raw. On location signing packages start at $700 a ticket. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way, Flobo, about baseball. I know you're a baseball fan.
Let's go Mets.
And I and I remember going to Dodger Stadium when tickets were super cheap.
Oh.
Now it is not so cheap. Everything is so expensive. It's like $15 for a drink. Again, baseball and equating WrestleMania, obviously not the same thing, but World Series tickets obviously are up there as well.
Oh, yeah.
But on normal baseball, I remember I would go to like the local teams. You pay, go to a little league game, go to a local team, $5, but you can still enjoy the sport.
Right.
And again, this is from my perspective of people that have told me going to Raw, SmackDown, even those prices are you're getting outpriced out of the market for normal everyday fans. So that's, I know, a lot of topic of discussion.
Right. And I know, hey, look, the money's there.
More reasonable.
But okay, so you're right. If you're just there to watch wrestling, then sure, by all means. But the thing I realized going through like Formula One, right, is if I want to see Formula One, I want to see Formula One. You can't take me to an IndyCar race and be like, it's kind of like it. Like, there's a bit of a step down there. But Johan Pena said something interesting. Do you guys think the oversaturated schedule of WWE is going to be a problem down the road, if not already? Here's the ironic thing. There are less events during the year than ever before. Is that more events are on television. And I think that's the saturation you're referring to. But that's what I was saying. If I couldn't afford to go to a Raw for $40 a ticket, the live event that came in the other months was half that price. $25 get you in. Those don't exist anymore. And it's always going to be the big venues. I live in Los Angeles. The Armory used to hold events. Now we're going to Intuit Dome. We have to download an app to use your ticket to walk inside that ish. So to your point, Johan, I kind of wish there still was the live event loop. I know it's harder on the bodies of the performers. I'm not saying to work every day. I'm okay with the C show. I'm okay with the D show. But at least give us an on-ramp that is more affordable if you continue to have the premium stuff. But that's my soapbox.
So I know, Flobo, they are doing, I believe I saw they're doing, because WWE is going to Europe for a while, I think they are doing a live event circuit.
Thank goodness.
In Europe, because they're not over there that often. So they got to take use of that time.
Yeah, and those fans should probably be great. Like I said, I'm already locked in. Most people become fans from their kids. I don't have any kids of my own, but I hope the next generation be like, oh man, this is great, and be in, and not be like, well, I always wanted to go, but it's like Disney World. Either your parents take you every year or not at all. Forget
I know, like Disneyland was like maybe like as a kid, it was like for special occasions only, and only when I got older did I go when I got free tickets. I got free tickets, or I worked there and knew people. I could get my employee passes. Like, that was the only way I could go. Because on a normal day, it's hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, I think the California Park Hopper pass one day is about $165 these days. Yeah, but that's about me being broke.
We're all broke. It's okay. So that's why you should check out my Cameo, because if you request a Cameo through Friday of next week, I could do it at a super cool location in LA. Maybe Flobo will join me, and we are splitting the profits. So I will give half to Flobo because he's my buddy.
Woo!
So I'll be at Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. So if you want a cool LA landmark, or if you want it at the stadium, whatever, just let me know. It's like, I think my cameos are like $10.
When people do cameos, are you like giving them like advice, well wishes, settling bets? Like what?
You can request anything within reason. So you can, I have it. So if you want me to do a promo on you, you could like give me a description. I could do a heel promo. I could do a babyface promo. I can sing you a song. I can write you a poem. I will dance for you, whatever you want within reason that's appropriate. I will do for the $10.
You can't say to me 10 minutes ago you're a positive person, then offer heel promos for a cost. What? How does that even work?
My heel promos are like the best. I'm better than CM Punk.
I love it. All right, fine. All right, cool. I'm positive. You son of a. Okay. Well, get the cameos.
This nice exterior. Sometimes you could have a little grit, underneath it, a little spark, and a little cranky. Sometimes you get cranky. But yes, if you have birthdays coming up, summer weddings, I'll send an anniversary message. What Father's Day is coming up? Do it. Cameo. It's on my Instagram.
Do it or else.
Do it or else.
What should come back to?
I'll fight you.
We talked about.
If you want my cat to be in it, I could do that as well.
What's your cat's name?
Rory.
Oh, okay. He? She? That's
a she.
Okay, yeah. Like Gilmore Girls.
Like Gilmore Girls.
Yeah. I know stuff. All right, shout out to the WB. Remember that. Just real quick though, we kind of glazed over at the beginning of the show. Double Nothing did happen, and it really was a fantastic event. Mm-hmm. Was there any moments that stuck out for you? Because I know this was a long show. It was a very congested wrestling calendar, but Double Nothing for a long time was considered one of the biggest events before All In stepped in that spot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there was a lot of interesting things. There, were Forbidden Doors in August, so usually it's in June. So there's a big runway to get to Forbidden Door. But I think some of the big moments, obviously Mercedes won the Owen Hart tournament. We saw Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa, obviously two of my favorites.
Wow.
Again, they're building to more All In stuff in 40 something days less than now. So we're all in it. And I think those were the two. Oh, and Anarchy in the Arena was freaking crazy. And that is one of my favorite matches just overall. Cause Flobo, I like fire. I like the chaos. I like the craziness.
Oh yeah.
I don't look like I do, but that's why I do deathmatch wrestling as well. No one thinks I do that, but I do.
Wait, you do deathmatch?
No, I host it. I don't actually do it.
I'm sorry. I just assumed someone does heel promos can do it. My bad.
I had a cute jacket that got destroyed with blood all over it. That's how deep I get into it.
Oh, that's the worst. Am I right? What kind of job do you do? Get you a poncho. That's just.
Am I gonna be out in the rain? Remember that WrestleMania where they were wearing?
Oh yeah, it was a lightning storm. Oh my god. Yeah, blood and guts. Johan Pena says this. This is just me personally. He says, I consider AEW's biggest show to be Double or Nothing, not All In my opinion. Now, there's a long time where we didn't even know what was AEW's best show when there was only 4 of them, but you can't go to Wembley and be like, it's a side quest. It's All In, man. It has to be, right?
It has to be. I mean, but what's interesting is Forbidden Door is going to London. She likes the mayhem. Danny, I'm using it. Yes.
No, I hate puns.
Yes. Flobo, I am a walking pun.
Yeah, I hate it. It's the worst.
You missed me, Flobo. Admit it.
Okay, I miss you, but no puns.
The mayhem is always here. The maniacs, be loud in the chat.
What are we doing? This is off the rails.
No, Flobo, this is what happens when we have a reunion.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here because Jack is a stick in the mud. Let's talk about Money in the Bank real quick. We still have some qualifying matches still on the horizon, but as is right now, I'm going to give you the competitors of both the men's and women's as of right now, and you let me know who would you add or who has an advantage. So first off, on the male side, Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Penta, El Cero, Miedo, Seth Rollins, and 2TBD are going to be in that matchup. And on the women's side, Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, and 2 more to be named later. And those names stick out for you as far as being perhaps front runners of walking away with the Money in the Bank briefcase?
Roxanne Perez is my pick, right? Currently, in this current standings of who is in the Money in the Bank women's match, that's it. Roxanne Perez. It's her time.
And
take it.
Why is it her time? She just got called up. She just got called up. She was in last year. I give her that, but she just got called up.
Like I think she's had enough time having really big matches already. I think it would be a underdog story. And then she can cash it in, and because she's new to Raw now, she could use it to get that title shot right away. Some people think Alexa Bliss because she returned. She needs that big advantage. You know, it could be her. But those are kind of like my two that I keep going, I keep kind of going back and forth.
Okay, yeah. So there's no one that you think that you would like to add to this matchup? You have a chance, or just, as it is right now, Roxanne and Alexa. That's it. Doesn't matter who it is. You can add in Wonder Woman herself. I'm sticking with Roxanne Perez or Alexa Bliss.
Emily May. May's getting.
Oh, now you compete. Oh, before it was I just cover it. Now you're like, oh, blood and guts, bloody jacket, heel promo.
How do you think I've been training so hard, Flobo?
What the hell?
I've been training so hard at the gym, lifting those weights.
I believe that. I just peel back layers of Emily May. That's how it is.
Yeah, exactly. You think you know the layers of the Emily May onion, but it's just the tip of the iceberg.
She's got promos on the show. And the gent side, does anyone stick out for you?
Solo Sikoa. That's it. Done.
Man, Solo with the briefcase would be a lot of fun. I know a lot of people were not
devastating.
Yes, and they weren't on the Solo train with the new bloodline. But if you think about it, Solo carried the post-Roman stuff. He wasn't as good. It wasn't as effective with the new bloodline because new factions aren't as good as original ones. But he was a thankless role, man. And I really want him to get rewarded. LA Knight was in the chat. I like LA Knight. His momentum was at the highest in 2024. I hope it's not done. Mm-hmm. But Solo with the briefcase right there, that prince checks.
Do you think like some surprising for the men's Money in the Bank match? You think there's going to be some surprise? Again, like Roxanne is kind of an underdog. You think there's some more underdogs than the men's side?
Well, 2 months ago, I had predicted Raquel Rodriguez and Logan Paul. And I'm not even sure if Raquel is going to be involved, but I would still go with Logan Paul because here's somebody that would just be slimy. Someone everyone boos, everyone hates, but has the opportunity to become world champion at any point in time. That's the kind of like, ticking time bomb you want. If there's someone on that level, I would definitely pick them instead, but Logan would be my pick, be my guy.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need some like wild card picks.
Who you got?
We need some like
Wesley.
Surprise. Yeah. We need some surprise. Like, will there be, because Joe Hendry?
Oh, Joe Hendry fighting back and getting the Money in the Bank would be pretty cool. Would you sign him or would you go back?
I would sign it. I would go Joe Hendry. Let's sign it. Let's make it happen.
Wait. Will Joe Hendry win it as a WWE talent or as a TNA talent? That's my question.
I don't know. If you won it as a TNA talent, it would change. I think that's the first ever in the history. But if you did it as a WWE talent, that also would change the game. Either way, it would be freaking amazing.
I don't hate it. And people are saying, well, WWE, they're burying TNA. I can't tell you how much I've said TNA in the last 20 minutes, far less the past 2 months of this partnership. It seems to be working. Why not? I'm in.
Exactly. I mean, we're talking about both brands. Like we're talking, and TNA has been selling out more of these bigger arenas than I've seen in some house shows for some other companies that I can't mention. So
I don't know how they do it. But I do think TNA now, because I went to Rebellion in the Galen Center in downtown Los Angeles in April, a week after Mania. So I was extra broke. But I went. And for some reason,
ramen for the last 3 weeks after Mania. So
and not even the good ramen, the cheap stuff.
Yeah, the cheap 25 cents.
But they remind me of how WWE shows were in 2003, 2004. Like, it was athletic, it was intimate, it was up close, it was like you really felt like you were part of the action as opposed to being seen somewhere. And I kind of wish that we had that in WWE side, but TNA is hot, man. It really is.
It is so hot. Like, I've been to like the El Paso, San Antonio shows, like the Texas loop when they're here, and they're selling out like 4,000, 5,000 people, which is like 5-6 years ago they were not doing. So they are so hot right now. Everyone's talking about it, and it gives great exposure for both NXT talent and TNA. And it seems like it's beneficial to both sides, at least at this moment in time.
I got one more question for you. This is actually a TNA question. We saw Trick Willie, let's talk about it, in the ring being the TNA champion, and Mike Santana came out and said many times, I'm a Boyce from Bronx, New York. Hey, okay, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm just being a hater. Anyway, are we looking at the next TNA champion? Do you think Santana does it? He beats Trick Williams? And no, you don't.
No. Sorry. No, I like Trick Williams way too much.
Wow.
Yeah, no. It needs to stay with an NXT talent for a little while. You can't just like flip it around. No.
Sorry, Mike.
Shutting it down.
No. She says no. Ricky Sinclair says TNA is on AXS TV. If you can find it.
Access. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Right. It is Access. If you can find it. I used to have it on Sling TV, but I mean, there are ways. There are ways to get that. Asking a friend. What do you mean? Okay. Emily May, again, last week in wrestling was crazy. I bet next week is going to be even crazier over the next 7 days as we wind this down. What are you looking forward to the most?
Oh my goodness. Going home to LA. I know that's like non-wrestling, but I'm excited to be back, seeing friends, seeing family, going to some big events next weekend. I have a full slate of wrestling shows this weekend, just on the indie circuit here in Texas. And Flobo, anyone in Southern California, here's a little quick announcement. I'll announce it on my social media, but I will be returning to Championship Wrestling on Tuesday night.
Whoa. Wait,
yeah.
where's that even?
Jack Farmer on Tuesday in Oxnard.
Yeah. You know, there's a day that needs to be called Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
It is now Championship Wrestling. It is not from Hollywood.
Yeah, they know better.
Everywhere now.
It's never but Hollywood. It's like, oh, we're in Irvine this week. What?
No, I think next week's Oxnard. So
right, yeah, I gotcha.
And then I also have Reality of Wrestling, Booker T's promotion. This weekend we have a bunch of TV tapings. So I get to do that. I'm rounding out the last Brahmas game on Sunday for the UFL. We have the worst record in the league, so that's rough. But we're going to go out and celebrate and still be with the fans. So
I'm going to choose my words carefully. But the 2020 version of XFL was amazing. Like that to me was like, we had the cheesy theme songs and everyone had like little like things. The LA Wildcats had a team. Yeah. The UFL, I mean, you got rid of all my teams. You got rid of the Guardians. You got rid of the Dragons. You got rid of everything else.
You got to touch the rock. I have nothing to do with that, Flobo.
I'm saying you people. I don't know. I want some of that flair back, man. I'm not trying to say go back in time, but I want some of that flair back.
I know. I get it.
The best way to do that is making sure Heartpunch Media is on the sidelines with the Brahmas and more teams next season. Look, you're part of the Heartpunch Media family, Emily. Maybe before we wrap this up, tell me all about it, man.
Oh my goodness. So Heartpunch Media is my producing a media company that I started 6 months ago or so. So it's kind of like my digital media company. I run with Brandon, or AKA the Hobo, if you remember him back in the day from AfterBuzz. And so we tried to make an entity of kind of what I'm doing and what we're doing together. So it's super new. But yeah, we're just going out there, and we did a Major League Pickleball event recently this past weekend, and we're just making it all happen. But you can follow Heartpunch Media on all social platforms. And then follow me at Emily May Heller if you're not already. And I see some familiar names in the chat. So I was happy to be here tonight with you, Flobo.
No, absolutely. Thanks for stepping in and answering the call when Jack went on a vacation. But Ricky Sinclair, he's really the reason why we do this show, because we moved it for this dude. Like, this guy comes every week. He gives a new hashtag. Without Ricky Sinclair, the show would have been done. Says, see, Flobo, you got a friend in Emily, somehow, because she's a heel, and an enemy in Jack. We need a trio. That would be cool, having all three of us in the booth to do an episode in the future. Yeah. Well, I'm not nearly as cool as you. I'm doing nothing this weekend because I'm a bump on the log. But I will be at Money in the Bank next Saturday over at the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California. Hopefully, we can do a photo op. We have a chance.
Yes, we need a little reunion. Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, would it be a Wrestling Inc. reunion or an AfterBuzz reunion?
It's OG. It's
don't know what that works.
Go all the way back.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week to cover more of the highlights of professional wrestling. Usually, Jack says, "Do your best and be yourself." But if you have a motto for me, Emily May, say the words.
Be your maniac.
Is that a pun?
Yes.